What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today we're taking a look at a couple of Microtechs. This is the Stitch ram-lok, so the manual version of the Stitch. So I've got a pair of these guys that we're going to quickly do a quick video on to kind of talk about the knife. It's my first time actually experiencing one of these guys. My buddy Jonah actually was talking all about these, getting me all excited about taking a look at these. So I brought in some just to take a look at, maybe throw one of them up on the site, not too sure. If you guys have not visited the website yet, if you're in Canada, please visit me, bladezilla.ca. I'll show you here. As always, definitely check out the site, where a lot of the knives featured on this channel are available and ready to ship right out of Canada. Got the Quantum Blue on there. Just added a mini cannabis, a pair of tigers. So lots of good stuff to take a look at on the site if you're in the market. Or if you're not in the market, that's cool too. You know, it's all about taking a look at a couple of these knives. So anyway, let's get started. Enough of the nonsense. So this is the Microtech Stitch. And I apologize in advance. I don't know all the acronyms for these knives, but I will do my best to kind of talk about it. And I do have a pair of them here, so I'm going to show this other one. One is a DLC, and the other is, I believe, the Apocalypse coating or whatever you want to call it, which I believe is just a generic stonewash on the bottom portion of the blade. So there we go. Those are two real good looking knives, honestly. So where do we get started on this? Well, you know, Microtech obviously is a US company. They kind of make knives, depending on line, kind of all over the place. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I thought these particular ones were made in the US. Which is cool. So, you know, I would kind of put them in the category of the American-made folders, right? So, this particular one, obviously, like, you know, it's kind of got the ram-lok. And the ram-lok, for you guys who are unfamiliar, kind of has got an axis lock vibe going on, other than it kind of is a bit influenced by this little tab. So let's take a pull. You can see how it should move the blade a little bit. Or at least it did on this one, I thought. No, maybe not. There you go. Very, very lightly. Yeah. I don't know how that mechanism quite works, but I guess it's pretty common, pretty popular. You know, in Canada specifically, like, it's very, very hard to find these knives because Microtech is primarily automatics, right? There's a lot of the OTFs and whatnot, which are not allowed. If we want to take a look at the blades themselves, so this is the Apocalypse finish, like I said. So the bottom portion here and the top has a beautiful stonewash. This looks really cool. Nice little logo as well. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I thought these were in 390 or 20 CV. Let's just double check on the box. I have no idea. But I'm sure I'll figure it out as I go. Pretty cool knife. I'm gonna put this guy into the back just for now. And let's take a look at the Apocalypse coated. So I'm gonna read the box as well. Just you know, I feel completely disorganized today, even doing this video. But let's read the box and see what we got here to give you an idea. So this is this knife here. So Stitch ram-lok SE fluted apocalyptic standard. So there you go. Because I think they offer this as well as in I think it's like a serrated lower blade. I think. But pretty cool. I'm not going to flip this because, let's be honest, I'm going to end up hurting myself wrapping around a tripod. But let's just kind of take a look and go over some of the features. So is that one piece? I think that is. That's cool. Kind of see it moving on there on the front there. So let's take a look here. So in hand, let's see, we've got two kind of positions. One in the back and a forward hold, which is nice. A nice curved top portion to the blade as well. You can kind of choke up, and that is actually really attuned to kind of holding down here with your front finger. That actually fits really, really nice, because then it spreads on the handle around the inside of here. That's quite a nice feel, actually, for slicing. didn't think I'd like it that much. I always, on a lot of the Shiros I hold, I like to hold them back kind of here. But this one really calls for me to hold it up a little more forward. The lock tab, the ram-lok, super grippy, and as you can see, it's kind of spring-loaded, and a lot of tension on that, surprisingly, which is nice. The clip looks like you can reverse it from left to right as well, based on these two bolts here, which is kind of cool for if you're left-handed, right-handed. That's nice. It's all tip up, obviously, and I can't see how you'd flip that guy around. Nice thick geared back spacer, which is awesome as well, nice and grippy, and I felt that right away in the palm of my hand, which is awesome. The carry clip here, what does it say on there? Stitch. Oh, it's dated too. That's cool. 12/20/23, and for reference, I'm filming this in 2024 in January, so it was obviously made last month. You're looking at not a whole lot sticking up from your pocket, which is awesome. Pretty basic clip. You've got a spot for a lanyard hole on the back spacer as well. If that's what you want to do, you can run a lanyard, which is cool. It still has the side profile of a hole through it, but let's be honest, do you really care? It's a manual knife. It's cool. I think these are going to be ballin' in Canada. Thumb launch. You could flick this guy out, probably reverse flick it too with your finger. Seems pretty attuned to that. But you can definitely push that out with your thumb. You can just kind of slow roll it, or I'm sure you can flick it right out. It's not, the detent's pretty firm, but I think that's more of the result of the ram-lok itself. Torques throughout, and it looks like we've got two different sizes. One for the main pivot, which is really big, actually. That looks T25-esque, if I'm guessing, and then probably 10s or 8s kind of all over everywhere else. They do offer two versions of this as well, so this is both of these are all aluminum, and they do a G10 variety as well. And my understanding is the aluminum is a little more popular because it's just more durable, obviously. But G10, let's be honest, G10 is awesome. You can beat the crap out of G10 and not have any issues. I'm going to show you now. Go back to the DLC version, which is, instead of the stonewash, it's a real nice black DLC. Let's take a look at that blade from the factory. Quite nice. Quite nice. Very consistent throughout. Same kind of pattern on the hold, right? Nice thick jimping, and I like how on the top it's DLC'd as well. It's a nice little touch. I'm kind of curious though, because we've kind of got this satin flat here. I'm curious on the other one. Is it stonewashed on top on the jimping as well? It might be. Totally is. Ha! That's cool. Look at that. If it ever wants to focus, I would say look at that. There you go. It's a nice little touch, eh? Things you learn when you're just looking at knives. Move that off to the side. So as you can see, everything else pretty much consistent hardware-wise. Same color, same clip, same handles, same scales. Just a different blade, which is awesome. I'll grab the other one here and just kind of show them side by side in case anyone does want to see the differences between the two. It's mostly just in the blade itself, as far as I can tell. You know, anytime you get DLC, you always wonder, are they going to do, DLC hardware to kind of match the whole thing? But not in this case, which is cool. Not a big deal. Nice thick blade stock as well. But I think the money is definitely in this. Curious, what was the manufacturer date of this one? Also 12? Yeah, 12/23. Sometimes you get some gaps in the manufacturing. What else can I talk about with this guy? So it's got some weight to it, so I'll throw this on the scale. It feels like a heavy, kind of a working style knife. Probably in the 5-ounce kind of conversation. For reference, that was not a knife falling, that was a tape measure. Just in case we are curious. But let's get this guy weighed in. Six and a half. What did I say? 5? So obviously not even close, which is pretty standard for my channel. So heavier knife than what I'm used to. But remember, it's a heavy-duty knife. This is not something you're gonna be it's not something you're gonna be showcasing at a, you know, high-end event. It's a working knife, which is awesome. Blade length I thought was 3.5, but let's double check. So grind is 3.5, kind of the center, I guess you'd say. 3.5, so three clean, but kind of 3.5 to the center. Overall length 8 3/8, so fairly large, and handle of 5 inches. In terms of size comparisons, in terms of that class or that league, let's go with the Pyrenees. That's a big boy as well. Similar size-wise, this, it's so funny sometimes, like, if I compare the Pyrenees to, like a Shirogorov, I feel like it's a very overbuilt, heavy-duty knife by comparison. In this case, it's like an Ace, it seems much higher end, but we're also comparing two hugely different price points here, guys. Just keep that in mind. I'm not going to bother showing any Shirogorovs by comparison. What else do I have here? I can grab the Sabenza. And I should have a Nirvana close by as well. But here's your large Sabenza, which is awesome, just for size. I mean, everyone knows what a Sabenza looks like. I got my Nirvana here as well. Let's put that away. Peter Zenti. Once again, a nice burly style knife, which everybody wants. And that's a solid one. As you guys know, Spyderco did a variety of that. I've got a Benchmade Freak, or Super Freak, as well. Nice big boy with that thick axis lock. That's what she said. As well up top. And what else do I have access to? I thought I had a Spartan Harsey hiding somewhere on my desk, but clearly I'm losing my marbles and knives. But those are kind of the big boys that I'd kind of compare it with. I could grab, just for reference, I've got a G10 Quantum as well. Different price points, but to give you just the size comparison, you can kind of see how much more blade you're packing. Drop point versus this kind of spear style, which is nice. Boy, that feels like two completely different knives by comparison. I'm so used to thinking like it's like a frame lock. My finger just naturally wants to push on the inside of here. I'm so used to it. It's hilarious. On the inside of the knife, let's take a look here. We can see I've got the same stonewashed back spacer that's on the inside. You can see kind of inside there. You can see the spring as well. A little bit of milling, not a terrible amount, but it's aluminum. It's not like you're gonna save a ton of weight. But there's some milling in there, which is cool. But a lot of the weight, I think, is just in the fact that it's a burly, thick, heavy-duty knife. Right? I love getting two different varieties in the same video, so that if you are looking into it, or if you want to take a look at the two different blades, it's always nice to just kind of see what each looks like. Form an opinion. Judge me. And I would say this is probably one of the least prepared videos I've ever done. I literally just opened the box, and this is my literal first impression on it. And then I'll take some photos, and then if I want to throw these guys in the store, at least I've got a baseline. It's a nice snap on it. I think I see in my little eyes there M390. So that says M390 MK. So I'm guessing M390 is that it says on here as well. I didn't even notice that next to the logo. Same thing. I can't even read it through my little, M390. That's cool. So it does say it. Nothing on the inside. I was kind of expecting, or half expecting it to be kind of written on the inside there. But there's nothing. Big, big pivots as well. I'm kind of curious, for my Microtech aficionados, why do they put such big kind of pivot hardware in there? See what I'm saying? Like the frame hardware that's not purposeful, is it? No, it does get used. So why do they put that on there? I wonder why they notch up that like that, especially when it's useful. So it creates gaps in between, which I guess could clear things out, but it could also pile things up. Both, let me take a look at these. Both should be dead center. They feel like a knife that would be. Yeah, both dead center. Pay attention to the gaps in the length of the blade as well. They seem pretty... Well, it looks like the DLC one might be a little longer, which makes me wonder if they're hand ground. At this price point, I can't imagine they are. But, or maybe that's just my eye playing tricks, because there is a black DLC and then the tip is silver, so maybe I'm just looking at it thinking that it's longer than it is. That wouldn't shock me. But two really solid knives, heavier than I was expecting. And, you know, there is the option to bring in the G10 version, which is cool, a little cheaper. But I think if you're going to do it, you know, obviously go with the aluminum, because it's going to take some abuse. But then again, it's going to show a lot of the scars as you carry it. It's going to get worn. It's going to get dings in it. But does it really matter at the price point of, I think they're around $350 US, something like that. Not crazy, but definitely it seems like a well-built knife. And I'm looking now, the hardware is definitely satin on the black DLC, and the stonewashed hardware is stonewash. That's cool. So I was right, they did change it up. It was just the lighting that I was looking at. They are a little bit different. I wonder if it's titanium hardware too. That's a very polished head on the DLC. Lots of detail. I think these are cool knives, honestly. If I'm looking for a knife that can, like, you know, go cut a lot of cardboard, go, you know, be in your pocket, not worry about it. It's probably going to take a hell of a lot of abuse. You're not going to really worry too much about it. You know, the stitch is great for that. And it just looks flippin' sick. You know, kind of gives me like SNG vibes a little bit. A little bit, don't quote me on that, but just in terms of like the handle to blade ratio, it just gives me that vibe a little bit. And the fact that you can reverse flick, thumb flick, probably launch this out with some authority as well. Pulling on that, just literally just pull and then slap it out. I think that'd be a fun little knife to play around with. So I don't know if I'm going to carry these. I don't know if I'm stocking these. I don't know what I'm doing with these. But at some point, I've got to do something with them. So if you're watching this, they might be on the site, or one of them might, or maybe none of them. Literally just looking to try out some new things, take a look at what's hot, see what's tough to get as well. You know, a lot of friends will ask me to bring in things that they can't necessarily get as long as they're legal. I don't have a problem with that. And these guys are definitely a pair of them. So pretty cool. And I see why they're popular, because, you know, they're manual and they're not automatic, and they're Microtech. You know, Microtech's got a long name for some cool designs and some well-made, overbuilt knives with a cool claw on it. Obviously, claw being the logo. That's their shtick. And the problem is, in Canada, we don't get a lot of them because they tend to be automatics. So now that they got this, the manual ram-lok, I think that's pretty cool. Might change things. Maybe we'll start seeing more of them. But it is a premium knife in the States, and they're not super available. So anytime I see one, I'll definitely try to yank one and bring it in, throw it on the site maybe. And if there's interest, I'll certainly bring it in. You know, just like the Chavez 229 kick stops, some of these Riot Tigers as well. You know, it's all for you guys. Okay, well that is it. Check out the site bladezilla.ca and leave a comment below. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Obviously YouTube. Hammer the like button. Throw a comment, and I'll reply to you. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Have yourselves a good week, and we'll talk soon. All right. Peace.